And we're back. James Cameron 101. I'm your host, Eddie Green. And today is a very different kind of episode for the podcast, but one that I'm very excited about. And I hope you are as well. Definitely recommend watching this particular episode. If any episode has warranted a watch, I think it's this episode because today we're going to be opening up a bunch of packages that are all James Cameron related, and we're going to be adding them to the collection. So first and foremost, what I want to say here is these are packages that I have accumulated over months. I don't want anyone to think that I just went ham one day and bought all of this at once and then it arrived and now here I am opening it up. No, 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 no. The way I do this is I like to buy stuff, incrementally, if that's the right word, and let it kind of accumulate for months. Like literally, I just put them in the corner. I have a shelf, like a dedicated package shelf, and put it over there, and just let it build up. And the great thing about this, and I mean, I recommend it for people, is not only does it feel like Christmas, right? When you do open all of this stuff up because you have a bunch of stuff instead of opening it as you get it kind of thing, but you forget what you just naturally forget what you have purchased, right? Like it's just that's the way it works. And so it's doubly cool opening all this stuff up because you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I totally forgot I found that, or I totally forgot that I added that to the collection. So it's really cool that way. And yeah, I don't want anyone to think that I bought all of this at once. No, no, this is months and months of little bit purchases here, there, and just letting it all build up. What do I collect when it comes to James Cameron? Because there's a lot of stuff out there that you could collect theoretically when it comes to Cameron. Now, I am obviously a fan of his films, right? That's why the podcast exists, because we're celebrating his films, his television credits, his music video credit, all of this stuff that he has been creatively involved with. I'm a fan of in one way, shape, or form. So really, my main focus when I collect Cameron is the physical media releases. I am a huge advocate for physical media. Yes, I stream, but I love physical media, the tangibility of it all, like being able to hold it, feel it, smell it, do whatever you want with it, display it. You can't get that with streaming. So may physical media never die. So that's really where I focus when it comes to James Cameron. My goal before I leave Earth and go to a distant planet is to have every single James Cameron film, his films. When it comes to the producing and executive producing and all that stuff, I'm okay with just one copy. But when it comes to his films, I want to own every single version that's ever been released on any format, home media release. I want to own every single one of those in every language ever. That's like my goal. That's the if I do that, then I can leave and die happy. Have no clue how many of these titles exists in how many languages and what formats, right? Laserdisc, DVD, Blu-ray, VHS, 4K, UMD. So all of this stuff, right? All of this glorious media. That's really where I love to collect. What I love to collect. Having said that, I also collect figures, books, um, the occasional maybe poster, stuff like that. Funkos. I guess that falls into figures, but that's really where I kind of focus. But of course, there's a bunch of other stuff that people collect out there. It's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. Having said all of that, all right, we're about six some odd minutes into this episode, and not a single package has been opened. This is part one of at least two parts. There's a bunch more packages I have not pulled out yet, and that'll be saved for a second episode. So, kind of splitting this up here. I don't want to, open everything and have nothing left. So I have probably, if I had to guess, I have, I don't know, 15 or so packages next to me, maybe 20, something like that. So we're gonna dive into those. Got the trusty scissors, and yeah, we're gonna see what we have here. So, and I'll try to provide commentary. So here is this first one here. A nice pink package. Again, I'll try my best to describe for anyone that might exclusively just be listening to this, not watching. Very cool. Yes, 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 yes. So this is a cool find because this is The Abyss on DVD with a slipcover right there. So it's a brand new DVD edition. Now I have The Abyss on DVD, but I did not have it with this lenticular slipcover. So that is why I picked this up. And it's really cool here. New movie, $9.99, Hollywood Video, right there. Very, very cool. Hollywood Video was a, kind of like a Blockbuster or a movie gallery or a family video, something like that. Hollywood Video was one of those rental stores back in the day when that was a thing. And yeah, they were selling this. So very cool. Now I have the lenticular. I mean, look at that lenticularness, that goodness right there. Awesome, awesome. So yeah, the DVD edition of The Abyss is really nothing special. It's with in my experience, it's a very poor kind of transfer, and I've talked about how watching The Abyss on DVD is not recommended. Next up, this is an international package, if I'm not mistaken here. Where did this come from? I forget. Australia. This came from Australia, mate. With the bloomin' onion. So, what we got here? Oh yeah, baby. Okay, I'm very excited for this one. So I was talking about, remember, the different formats and everything. Now, to my understanding, I have all of them now. To my understanding, again, let me know if I'm speaking incorrectly here, but UMD. Does anyone know what that means? UMD. I'm pretty sure it means Universal Media Disc, right? So this was a. Do you remember a console called the PSP, the PlayStation Portable? The PlayStation Portable was able to play movies on. So like it was like you could take your PlayStation Portable and you could watch full length films. They would release physical copies of movies on UMD. To my knowledge, two films of Cameron's were released in the United States, The Terminator and Terminator 2, which I own. And there was one other film that was not released in the United States. This is an overseas edition, Aliens. And that is exactly what we have right here. This is Aliens on UMD. Nothing else in there. Cool. Aliens on UMD. So this is I mean, just look at this. How cool is this? UMD is it's so cool, right? So let's pop this open, show you what this looks like here. Oh, cool. And put in a little, I don't know what that's for, but look at how little like the disc is. So there's the disc right there. Um, and you would slide that into your PSP and you could watch the movie. Of course, I wanted this because I have the Terminator and Terminator 2 on UMD. So, boom, now I got Aliens. And I think, if my memory serves me right, I think I know what this is. This is a executive producer credit. Oh, okay, yeah. Yep. So this is yep, executive producer James Cameron, narrated by Ed Harris. This is the Blu-ray edition of Volcanoes of the Deep Sea. So this is one of those IMAX documentaries originally created for exhibition in IMAX theaters. This is one of those documentaries, and what's really cool about this is the fact that it reunites in one way, shape, or form Cameron with Ed Harris from The Abyss. Right now, Ed Harris has been very outspoken about how miserable of a time he had on The Abyss. Will not talk about The Abyss, but I find it interesting that they're both on this documentary called Volcanoes of the Deep Sea. I love watching, and Cameron is a part of a bunch of them. I love watching like nature documentaries or wildlife, whatever you want to call them. And so very excited to have this one added to the collection in the Blu-ray format. I don't know if this is on, it would probably be on DVD, right? Yeah, I feel like it would be on DVD, but either way, here we go. We got the Blu-ray Volcanoes of the Deep Sea from executive producer James Cameron, which really just means he kind of put some money toward it and gave it his blessing, I guess. Okay, these actually, I'm not going to open these because it has nothing to do with Cameron. These are VHS protectors. These are little plastic holders that you can slide VHS tapes into along with the artwork. So I picked up a few of those just to have them and keep my stuff, protected. But we will open this one because I think I know what this is. I think I know what this is. And if it's what I think it is, then I am very excited. It is Fragile. Oh, okay. It's not exactly what I thought it was, but still very cool nonetheless. Let's pop it open. So this is a really cool sealed edition of the special edition of The Abyss, with a ancient, if I can, there we go, ancient Best Buy sticker. Look at that right there. But this is really cool. This is one of those more striking kind of editions of The Abyss, right? Because we're so used to the black kind of backdrop for The Abyss, but I love the white. Yeah, it's all the same. It's the same movie over and over again, but it just looks so cool on a shelf, right? To have all the different various editions of the films. I think it's really cool. We'll open this one up. This is also, I believe, yeah, this comes from Japan. This one is one of my most like excited purchases for sure. Titanic on VHS, but in Japanese. Beautiful. It is as beautiful as I was hoping it was going to be. Right there, cassette 1, cassette 2, and then the back. Yeah, this is gorgeous. This is absolutely stunning. It was beautiful to look at on the listing, and it's even as beautiful, if not more beautiful, to hold in my hand. This is what I'm talking about, man. Physical media. You can't get this with streaming. Yeah, streaming is easier. Yeah, streaming is convenient, all that stuff, but you can't get that feeling. Now, as obviously decades and decades go on, people are going to not know what that meant. People are not going to know what this means to hold a movie, and feel like you're a part of it, to feel like, because I wasn't, but you feel like you have some kind of stake in it, right? Or maybe I'm crazy. I don't know, but that's what physical media means to me, and I love it. So love that. Oh my gosh, that's going to be hard to top that one. So nothing crazy, but it is brand new, right? It's brand new, or is it? Yeah, okay, it's brand new. This is the American edition of Titanic, but it's the widescreen, right? It's that gold kind of sided thing going on here. I didn't own this. I own Titanic, the regular VHS, but I don't own the widescreen VHS. So there you go. And it's got that cool Sprint sticker right on the top there. Oh, yeah. So this is a pretty good looking edition of Aliens on VHS. Nothing crazy. It's the classic, just text. Beautiful text, though, and a beautiful box with the VHS here. Very, very, very few kind of dings or, blemishes or anything like that. So there is that right there. And take a peek at the tape. Yeah, the tape looks good. Tape looks good. He rewound. That's good. So this is the T2 Ultimate Edition DVD right there. But this is the paper sleeve. This is the paper sleeve, and I have the metal one. I think they released this particular edition in the metal kind of slip cover or whatever you want to call that, and then they also just did a standard kind of paper release. This is a pretty awesome jam-packed edition when it comes to T2, and it's probably my favorite because, and is it also Casey's favorite from T for Two? I think that's what he said when I did my episode with him. But the making of T2 3D, breaking the screen barrier. So this has the making of T2 3D, big fan of T2 3D. It's super underrated, I think, still to this day when it comes to Cameron. So love that it has that feature on there. But yeah, it's it's cool, and this was a pretty cheap copy to get to have the sealed kind of edition of T2 Ultimate Edition DVD. All right, this one is very unique. Oh yeah, baby. Even put it in a protector. Put it in a protector. And okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. So here is the tape right there, Avatar, which I had like I commissioned him on this one, so I had him do this one, but he got back to me and said, this is the poster that I'm thinking about going with. What do you think? And I said, yes, that's my favorite Avatar poster. I love this one over the just like the face of who is it, Natiri, I think, on the poster that's become synonymous with Avatar. It's just like a black background with one of the Navi, right? I love this one right here, and I love the top from the director of Terminator 2 and Titanic. That is the classic, that's the classic poster. And right there, look at that. And he put it in a protector, which is awesome. And it's on a blue tape right there. So you can't beat that. It looks like it does look like there's a little bit of a scuff right up here, like a little bit of a tear in the paper when it comes to the sleeve, but that's a minor thing. Don't really doesn't really bother me too much. I love the CBS Fox Video, right, which is similar to something like Aliens. So that's really cool. And then there is the back. Sorry for the glares and everything, but that's the sleeve protecting right there. So there we go, right there, Avatar. Look at that. That's gorgeous and something you would never see, right? Because Avatar, unfortunately, came out after the VHS era. All right, this is the collector's edition of Titanic. It's the big box set that they released in America. They also released it overseas, which that should be coming to me at some point. But very cool. Look at that. It has the back card right there. Don't know if I'll open it. Don't know if I'll open it, but it has Titanic on VHS, exclusive photo book, and a selected film strip. Woo! Okay, so I forgot. Yep. Here it is. I can't believe I'm holding it finally in my hand. This is Terminator Vault. So this is actually eBay, but it's in a Amazon box for some reason. I'm just taken aback. I thought that one of the other ones was going to be this. So I can't believe I finally, because I owned this at one point and I moved, and I think somewhere in there it got lost. And of course, if you know Terminator Vaults, this is a very expensive book now to get. I found one being sold at a very reasonable price. 40 US dollars is what it started out as, suggested retail price. But yeah, this thing has skyrocketed. So it's out of print. Don't know if it'll ever be reprinted because of rights issues. But this is from Ian Nathan, who I'm a big fan of. I'm also friends with. He's been on pretty much anything I've ever done when it comes to Cameron. He is one of the nicest guys out there, and he's one of the most knowledgeable when it comes to a lot of films and filmmakers. But James Cameron, he wrote Terminator Vault, and he wrote James Cameron a retrospective, both definitive books in my opinion when it comes to their respective subjects. So this is a very exciting book. It covers only T1 and T2. I think it might touch on T2 3D. I don't know actually, but yeah, here it is, and it has a lot of removable elements. This is a hard slipcase. Here's the book itself, but I don't kind of want to savor that. So, but here it is, Terminator Vault. Ugh, so excited to have it finally back in my possession. So this was a very exciting 2-pack to find because I don't own these particular copies of the film. I just love oh my gosh. So here is the Terminator. This one is so cool. This is the classic poster for T2 right there. The mighty T2. Absolutely gorgeous. So they look great next to each other. It was being sold as a 2-pack. Had to pick it up. Don't own these particular ones. And yeah. Also, when it comes to VHS, of course, I prefer mint condition, but VHS is one of those rare ones where if there's a little bit of, you know what I mean, like tears and stuff. That's why with the Avatar, even though that's a brand new thing, I'm totally fine with it because there's something about it, like the history, you know, where who had this before, you know what I mean? Like that's what I think is so cool when it comes to VHS particularly. That's why when you go into like a VHS store or a thrift store or whatever, it's selling VHS, it's so cool to dig through, the history involved with the tapes. So this is a brand new edition of the selections. I don't have this particular logo at the top here. Um, it also has a really cool, fun little tidbit right there, but a brand new copy of True Lies on VHS sealed. It says, at her insistence, Jamie Lee Curtis was allowed to perform much of her own stunt work, including dangling from a helicopter at 250 feet, flying 60 miles per hour, which is incredible because I always thought that that was a stunt double. So I guess that's Jamie Lee Curtis. That's absolutely insane. Oh my gosh, one of the more, obviously one of those weird kind of additions in Cameron's filmography because it doesn't really, I mean, it's action, right? But it's comedy and everything. But I mean, it kills. It kills, which just goes to show you Cameron can do it all. And last but not least, this is definitely a book. So this is the updated edition of the classic book James Cameron's Titanic. This was released, I believe, for the re-release in 2012. And obviously, I picked it up for the new cover, but it also has a new foreword by James Cameron with previously unpublished images. So that's really cool that it has that new, kind of updated forward. That's why I picked it up. Also, again, just that lenticular kind of cover there. But I do own this book. The original one with the classic Jack and Rose poster image on there. But yeah, this is a phenomenal book, and what a way to wrap up this first unboxing episode of James Cameron. I guess you could say memorabilia, but mostly home media releases with some books and stuff thrown in. But thank you so much for watching and or listening. Again, if you're on YouTube, leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you thought of all of this. Do you have any of this stuff? Any info you might have on it? That's really what this is all about. I don't claim to be a 100% expert when it comes to James Cameron. That's the reason the podcast exists, because other people will find it and other people will share their insights into it, and the the podcast can become as close to definitive as possible. But anyways, thank you so much, and look forward to part 2 coming up very shortly. But in the meantime, as I always say, go watch a James Cameron film.